Now this area is going to be kind of a place where you learn to fight. So there's going to be a kind of a sword master who lives here who's going to teach you all sorts of techniques to using weapons. So I need to design something to put in here, and I actually want to use this ancient ruins object. So if I just bring this in, you can see that we've got this interesting looking item along with this as well. So you can actually just drag that onto the top there, which makes it look interesting. Just try and line it up with it. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that sword and shell and just make that sword a child of the shell. Then I can take the entire object and just kind of rotate that around a little bit. Okay. We do also have these large stones as well, but what I want to use basically are pillars and walls. So I should be able to find some dungeon walls. Here we go. And we've also got a wall entrance. I'll just leave that there. All right, so what in effect I want to do is create a large kind of almost like courtyard around here. Okay, so I'll start with this pillar. All right, I'll just put it into position. Now I do need to kind of rotate this around. Yep, let's just say like that. Then I'm going to take the wall, just going to drag it over toward the pillar and just rotate this so that it's pretty much in the same angle. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to switch the pillar off for a second. I'm going to take this wall, move it this way a little bit, and just need to start duplicating and snapping these together. Okay, so Control and D. Just going to move this way. Just going to hold V on the keyboard, just snap. Okay, once again Control and D. Let's just snap these together, so it's just V and snap. Control and D, and then V and snap. It's a little bit difficult to move around. Control and D, and then V and snap. Control and D. So I'm just making a really big wall basically. Control and V and then snap. So I've got quite a bit going on there. So I'm going to take my original wall, just drag it down here. I'm going to take all of these walls, Control and D, drag this over here, and then hold V and snap. Okay, so we've got a pretty big wall going on there. So then I want to switch my pillar back on, bring this down here. And by the way, I've created a subgroup called Houses External and just put all the houses in there. Alright, just to make that a little bit better. And what I want to do with this pillar is just kind of drag this out a little bit more so it's a little bit more obvious. Alright, then I want to maybe just drag it over to this side so that it forms like a corner piece. Okay, that should be fine. Control and D, and let's drag it over to the other side. So that it forms a corner piece. Okay, so what I want to do now is basically take all of these wall pieces, just make it a child of that original wall. Do the same with the pillars as well, and then that means I can then take this wall and just do Control and D to duplicate, and now we've got a second wall going on. Okay, so I'll bring this way up here like this. Then I want another one, Control and D, This time I want to rotate this around, so I'll just hold Control as I do so. Okay, so I actually want to attach this together, so what I want to do here is just switch my two pillars off. I want to take this end wall, make sure that I've got everything selected. Oh, actually on my original I need to switch off the pillars as well, so that I can snap to this vertex right here, and I want this corner to attach to that corner. Okay, so just select all of these, make sure I'm on move, just hold V. Let's have a look. Might need to get a little bit closer. There we go. And then just snap. There will be a gap between it, which is perfectly normal, but as I switch my pillars back on, they hide that gap. Okay. And in fact, this particular piece, I might just need to push this a little bit more into the corner there in order for that to work. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm going to take, I'm going to leave those pillars on for now because I don't know, might need them. I'm going to drag this one this way so it matches up with this, and then once again I'm just going to switch those pillars off. All of these walls. I'm just going to hold V. I just need to get a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, and then let's just switch these pillars back on. Line those up. All right, so it hides that gap. Great, and then we've just got one last wall to do, and that is obviously a side wall. So let's just take this one, Control and D to duplicate, and let's just bring this all the way over here. Start from this side and just snap this together, so that's the original wall. It's this pillar, so I'll just switch this one off. It's actually pretty close with that. Oops. Make sure I'm on move. There we go. Snap. Switch that pillar back on. Yep, nicely hides everything. Just make sure it's correctly in place. Alright, excellent. So let's just check this final pillar on this side. Yeah, alright, so that's looking nice. Obviously we need a way to get into this. That's why we have this piece. Okay, and I'm going to replace one of these with an entrance. I might use this one. So I'm just going to press delete to get rid of that. I'm going to put this one in place. Rotate it around. And then roughly move it into place. Okay, and then I just simply want to do V and snap. Okay. Obviously the rotation is off at the moment, so I'll just click on this. Rotation should all be on zeros. So actually once I attach it to this object, it should. Wall, it's on this wall 1, so we need to take wall entrance, attach it to wall 1, and then as soon as we zero out the rotation, that will then line it up nicely, and then it's just a case of reattaching those vertices. So it's just V, and let's just, ooh, where did it go? Control and Z. There we go. Let me just move it out actually. It'd be easier to do it this way, and then V and then snap. Okay, so when we now click on anything, it nicely fits in and you can't see any issues there. Alright, great. So we've got ourselves a courtyard, we've got our we've got this kind of piece that looks pretty interesting. Let's just rotate this around just a little bit. And then we need kind of like a ground piece now. So if we go back into our project, I don't think I've brought the ground piece in actually, so if I go to items, and it should be something like a stylized and painted dungeon, prefabs, and we've got our floor piece, so let's just drag this one in. And if I just move this above the ground, so we actually have this that we can use. Alright, so what I want to do here is just rotate this around. Now I actually want to attach this to one of these pieces. So first of all, I just need to make sure that I've got my rotation correct. Then just holding V, I can then attach that into place. Now obviously at the moment it's having a bit of issue with the ground, so I just want to move this up slightly on the Y. So at the moment it's on 8.0029, so let's just move it up by 8.05, and that way it's definitely above the ground. Okay, great. So now it's just a case of duplicating this, moving it across, holding V and snap. Okay, Control and D, move it across. I'm going to press F to get close, and then V, and then snap. Okay, Control and D, move it across, V and snap. Oops, V and snap. Okay, great. So now we've got 4 pieces. Let's just move our floor right down to the bottom, so they're all together. Not on there. Take all of these, Control and D, and let's move these all together. And then it's just V and snap. Once again, let's do Control and D. Let's move them all across. And then it's V and snap. Now I'm wondering if I can see a little bit of a gap going on here, which I can, which is interesting. Okay, so that means that my rotation was off. So it's just a case of then taking all of these and making sure that my rotation is going to match up. And then just moving this a little bit this way to close that kind of gap. Definitely don't want to be seeing any ground underneath there. Okay, so now it all lines up. So I'm going to take floor 1 to floor 8 and just attach that to the original floor. And then in this way I can then take floor, Control and D, just kind of move it this way. I can take any point I like and just snap these together. So if I now hold V, it will find the vertex and it'll snap it to that one. Okay, take both of these floor pieces, Control and D, bring these forward. Once again, just holding V, it'll find any vertex and snap it together. And then let's take all of these floor pieces, Control and D, bring all of these forward. Once again, any piece, just hold V and snap. Then once again, Control and D, bring these forward. I should be able to just snap these together. Now the question is, do I have a gap at this side? Don't think I do, so that's good. Alright, it's not coming out of the bottom there. Alright, excellent. So now we have a really big kind of courtyard going on. At the moment it looks very uniform, a little bit difficult to see, so we are going to kind of put in a few interesting props in here. Obviously it's very tiled at the moment. That's what you kind of expect from this kind of a layout. Now any pillars that are switched off, we don't need these, so we can just delete those out. Okay, so any of these that are switched off, just delete them. Only keep the ones that are switched on. Okay. So in our project, where we have our main prefabs, we can bring in various elements, such as, for example, the ancient ruins pieces. We can bring in a few of these. Okay, that looks quite nice. Maybe just put another one over here somewhere, Control and D. and then just rotate this around. Also going to bring in something like this, for example. Just put a few of these around here just to break up the look of this. So Control and D, and I'm just going to change over to global. Control and D. Control and D again. Okay, so we've got a few interesting pieces going on there. Maybe some wooden crates. We can bring some of these in so that you can actually break these and find stuff. Bring in a few of these in order to make it look a little bit more interesting. We also have some small rocks. We could just bring in a few of these as well. Just make sure that they're not too large. Try and avoid putting them right in the center. Might also have a little bit of grass kind of popping through some of this area. Sometimes grass does that, doesn't it? Pretty much grows anywhere. So let's just put in little bits of grass. Okay. Now what I'm thinking is taking one of these. In fact, actually I might take the other one. There's one of these that has this more interesting kind of look, and just making this a lot bigger. Okay, so let's just make it like really, really big. Having this as like a centerpiece. It just breaks up that kind of tiled floor. And this is the area where the characters are going to kind of train. Alright, so if you want to fight, this is like an arena, if you like. I might even take some of these pillars, Control and D. I'm going to try this. I don't know if it'll work or not. Just put a few of these pillars on the inside. Let me change my thing to local. Put those two there like that. Let me take a look. Where's my pillar 2, pillar 3? Control and D. Let's just bring these over here like this. Okay, so it makes it look more like an arena or something now. Okay, great. So we've effectively got like a training ground there where you can learn to fight. This kind of like a symbol shows that it's like a training ground where you learn to use your weapons. Let's take all of these items and put them in a new empty game object. Let's call this Sword Master area, and then we can just take all of these items, I believe that's everything there, and just put it all into Swordmaster area. Let me just see if I switch it off. Okay, we've got some platforms left over, so let's just put these on here. And we've got another platform, I think. Nope, not that one. That one. Okay, just put that into there. All the rest are just basically props, so they can go into their respective areas. Oh, we also have this as well. So this is this. Okay, so let's just put these into here. Alright, excellent. So now I can switch that back on. And it's just a case of then cleaning up the hierarchy again.